probably might have seen content. It was just a discussion between myself and Dr. Oludayo. And for those of us who are familiar with him, we know, how we take goal setting seriously and how we take, results seriously. And so it's something I've been looking forward to, having this session with Dr. Oludayo. And that's why we just decided that, okay, we're not just going to do this alone. Let's include every other person who will be interested. So I think we've gotten up to, we got so many registrants, people registered, maybe not the number we're expecting, but doctor maybe understand that, the quality of the number is something that is very, very important. And so welcome everybody. Thank you. I hope you have great expectations, and I hope you would learn as much as you plan to learn from this session. Thank you very much. All right, over to you, Doctor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ebola, and good evening, everyone. Wherever you may be in the world, I'd like you to please let me know where you're joining from in the chat. I am here in Lagos, Nigeria. Can you please let me know where you're joining from in the chat? We're a few here, and it's important that and we decided not to make it too large, so we can have a very closely knit engagement. Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you and welcome, Grace. Grace, welcome. Olushola Amu, my own friend. Oyebola, thank you, joining us from the UK. We have Joshua is here in the room with me though. Juliet, oh my goodness, Juliet, you're here. Juliet is here from Jos. Juliet, thank you for joining. How are you, Juliet? Happy New Year. All right. Who else? Very well, she's good. Okay. All right, without much ado, there's a lot to share. For those who know me very well with information, with knowledge, I like to give as much as I can without holding back. Kemi, well done. Oh, Igwe from Bayelsa, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. All right, so I like to start by saying many of us need to be aware of what is possible. And being aware of what is possible requires a lot of effort on our part. And this conversation today is supposed to help you as an individual find a path to more. In fact, that's a path to more. A path to more of the good things you experienced, a path to more of expressing your potentials, a path to more breakthroughs, a path to more promotions and elevations, a path to more fruitful friendships and relationships, a path to more positive things in your life. And this conversation today will reveal a lot to you. I'd like you to please pay attention to all of the details that will be shared, because there's a lot. And there are a couple of offerings that would be added to this conversation, things that you need to take on, such that after now, you and I can have a personal engagement and enrichment program for you to produce results. Okay, so as a form of conversation starter, let me give you an idea of what we're going to be sharing today. We're going to be asking us to look at, thank you, Ebola, that's very encouraging. Having your video on is very, very encouraging. All right, so we're going to be talking about three main things, three broad things. Number one is understanding the priorities of new beginnings. When we want to start something new, when we come to a place of commencement, a time when we are starting out, implementing something new, introducing something new, I want to help you understand the priorities. In what order should you engage all of the tasks that you need to engage for bringing for results? The second thing, I want to show you how to pursue your vision. How exactly do we pursue the vision? How then do we structure ourselves to achieve all of these things? In doing that, I'm going to talk to you about the 7 domains of life. I'm going to talk to you about how to ensure that you see the best around you. Number 2, I'm going to share with you pathways to goal setting. I've never shared this path before, Ebola, so it will interest you, right? Pathways to goal setting. And then finally, you all in this room will be the first set of people to see my goals grid. I created a goals grid, and I think it's going to be useful for you. And it's going to be an assignment for you afterward, because you've got to populate the goals grid, all right? Then we're going to talk about levers of results. Your results are outcomes. Your results are things that you want to experience in your life. And we're going to look at those things that you need to lean on to be able to experience those kind of outcomes and results. I'm going to share with you what I call targets of influence, the things that will enable you influence the kind of results you see in your life. And then I'll show you the resources that you need to pay attention to produce results. And then we'll conclude, and I'll share a bit of references. So my references are on my major slides. So if you look at the slide on the screen right now, you will see a book on the left. So of the 5 major slides I'm going to share, you will find a book reference beside it. So those are my references as we go on. So the overall objective of this conversation tonight is to ensure that I equip you with the insights that is needed to drive success at an individual level. And then because you will always operate with people on the team level, at the team level, and because you will operate within an organizational structure at an organizational level, right? So that's the overall aim, to equip you with the insights, the resources, and the opportunities to be able to produce and drive influence at this level. Okay? Welcome, Mziba. Good to see you. All right. Now, more specifically, what do we want to accomplish? More specifically, what do we want to accomplish? I want to show you yourself. I want to see how I can help you see who you are and what you possess. I also want to see how I can help you appreciate your uniqueness, understanding your uniqueness and the role it plays in your bid to adding value to yourself and to other people. I want to help you see how you can make the most of your time. I want to expose you to the things that you need to consider to make the most of your time, because time is one of the levers of results, one of the levers of influence that you need to make the most of. And then I want to help you see how you can learn to produce results. You know, friend, the conversation we're having today puts a bit of responsibility on you. And the responsibility it puts on you, maybe they are 3-pronged. Number one is that you've got to take responsibility for your experiences. See, when you see the titles that says producing better results, it puts you on a level where you need to take responsibility for the things you want to experience. If you want to see success, if you want to see greater results, you've got to take responsibility. One of my mentors used to share with me, he said, you are absolutely responsible for the outcomes of your life. You cannot hold anyone else responsible. You cannot hold your father, your mother, your spouse, your children, your uncle, your relatives, your neighbors, your employer, your boss, your mentor, your coach, your nation, the politician serving your city. You cannot hold anybody else responsible for the outcomes of your life but yourself. And so when we talk about producing better results, we are not abdicating, we're not absolving you from the responsibility that produces results. And the results that we're talking about here, we'll borrow in a couple of similar words to explain it. Maybe you call it success, producing greater success, delivering greater success. And one of my role models and one of the men who has influenced my life a lot is a man called John C. Maxwell. And look at what he says that success is all about. John Maxwell says, success is knowing your purpose in life. That's one. Knowing your purpose in life. Number two, success is growing to reach your maximum potential. So there is a knowing and there is a growing. All right? He then says success is also about sowing seeds that benefit others. So success really is about knowing, growing, and sowing. I don't know if anybody got that. Success is about knowing, growing, and sowing. What do you need to know? You need to know yourself, your purpose. Why am I here? What am I here to do? Number two, you need to grow because, friends, you are not good enough to remain the way you are. You are not good enough to remain as you are. Yes, you produced some results in the previous year. Yes, you produced some outstanding successes. People applauded you last year. But guess what? You are not good enough to remain like this because there are more mountains to conquer. If you look at my slide there, you see the horizon. You are here now. What's next? And what will you do later? Your success requires a roadmap. And that's why we're here. So there's a knowing responsibility on you. There is a growing responsibility that you have. And there is a sowing. We'll talk about that later on as we have this conversation. Now, what are the critical responsibilities I want to put before you? Anyone who's going to produce results will do any of these four things. In fact, in this order, and I'd like you to please note it. If you're not writing on this conversation, you miss out a lot of things. You will miss out a lot. So I'm going to encourage you to please write. The faintest handwriting lasts longer than the sharpest memory. Okay, the faintest handwriting lasts longer than the sharpest memory. Even though we're going to share this recording with you, we're going to put it on a private link where no one else besides those who have committed their own resources to this will have access to. Okay? And if you share with anyone else, I don't know, I'll punish you. All right. So the responsibility you have before you, number one, is to discover yourself. You've got to go on a journey of self-discovery. You cannot produce results if you don't know who you are and what you're capable of doing. You've got to discover yourself, discover your potential, discover your purpose, and discover the things that can enable you to live a more meaningful life. The second responsibility you have is to develop what you have found. What John Maxwell calls growing. All right? You've got to develop your potential. You discover your purpose. You discover your potentials. You discover your assignment. You discover the areas where you want to add value. And then you develop yourself. See, the responsibility of developing yourself is a lifelong commitment. It's a lifelong commitment to transitioning. It's a lifelong commitment to transformation. If you have seen how the butterfly morphs across his growth cycle, you understand that it's not just that the butterfly changes in form. The butterfly also changes in capacity. And so one of the things you get when you develop yourself is that your form changes and your capacity changes. Now, having discovered what you want to do and having developed and continuing to develop your potentials and your skills and all of the necessary capabilities that you have a responsibility to deploy your competencies, your capabilities. Friend, if you will not put to work the tools at your disposal, you will not see any results. If you will not put to work the things that you have found that can be useful, whether they be relationships, whether they be financial resources, whether they be skills, if you will not put them to work, friends, you will not be able to see the things that you desire. And finally, you have a responsibility to deliver results. Friends, there is no reason to be here if you're not intending to produce greater results. So here are the 4 responsibilities before you. Discover your potential, discover your purpose, discover relationships, all of the things that you need to use, discover them, uncover, unravel them. And number 2, begin to develop them. Develop yourself, develop your skills, your potentials, develop your relationships that you find, and then appropriate all of your skills towards those things. Deploy them, engage them, release yourself, release your potentials to work. Many of us have not done anything significant, not because we are not capable, but because we have not deployed our resources. When you deploy your resources, guess what you find? You'll be able to deliver results that you desire. Now, when we talk about producing results, we mean 3 things, as you can see on the screen. Confirm to me that you can see my screen, please. Anyone?
You can.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Yes, you can. Thank you. All right. Amazing. Okay. Now, what is producing results? Producing results is about taking responsibility for your experiences. I'm committed to seeing success. Hey, friend, this new year. I'm trying not to be so excited in this conversation. I want to just I just want to follow my slide so I don't get over above myself. You've got to take responsibility for your experiences. Producing better results is about taking responsibility for your experiences. See, you cannot and you must not live what I call the life lie of the neurotic. That's what we call the life lie of the neurotic. What is the life lie of the neurotic? The life lie of the neurotic makes other people responsible for the bad outcomes that one has experienced, not taking responsibility for the experiences you have and holding other people responsible for it. That is the life lie of the neurotic. So producing better results is about taking responsibility for your experiences. Number 2 is about assessing, measuring the contributory factors to your results. There are things that produce results for you, what I call the levers of results. You've got to assess them. You've got to evaluate them. How much of this is bringing results into my life? How much of this is contributing to the success I want to see? You've got to assess them. And number 3, when we talk about producing results, it's about goal setting and a concept I define as expectation management. It's about goal setting and expectation management. I'm giving you these things in bits because we're going to get, as we go further in this conversation, it's going to get a little bit more technical. I don't know if my icons there make sense to you as you can see them. Can you see the icon on under expectation management? What is that man doing there? Anybody, what is that man trying to do there? Okay, let's hear you.
Yes, it's interesting that he's observing the baby in the womb and, expressing his expectation to have the baby born soonest, Yeah, so I think Yeah.
Massaging the baby bump. Shola, thank you. Doc, I didn't know that was you. Good to see you here. Oh my goodness.
Thank
My
you.
friends are here. My friends are here, and I wonder why we have this, because we are friends. But most of these things we have gisted on it before already. Anyway, but it's good that we can always put part to it. Now look at that
Yes.
icon number 2. Icon number 2. Can you say it? There is a piece that makes the circle whole. Sometimes the reason we are not producing results is that there's a missing piece. And until you evaluate the things that enable you to experience success, you can never tell what little thing or what more you need. So these are the responsibilities you have as we have this introduction. Now, friend, let's get a little deeper into this. What are the priorities of new beginnings? You see, when we talk about priorities, our conversation is around what things are important and in what order do I begin a journey towards significance. Please don't miss out the books that I put on each of these slides. All right, I put some books at the side. Those are my references for you. Now, how do you start your journey towards significance? How exactly do you want to start it? What should be your top considerations when commencing your success journey? You want to ask yourself, is there an order in which all required steps for success need to be taken? Oh, if there are 13 steps to success, which is the first step? If there are 30 steps to success, which is the second step to take? I really want to know. And that's what I mean by understanding the priorities of new beginnings. All right, friends, so let's start by going a little bit philosophical. I have studied many expressions of the creation story. I've gone religious and I've gone philosophical. Studied the Big Bang Theory, studied it from cultures, Yoruba culture, the Igbo culture. I studied it from religion, Islamic religion, and the Christian religion, and have come with something that I feel represents what all of them have said. And these things represent what I call the priorities of the new beginning. And so please open up your heart as I share these things with you. When we talk about the priorities of new beginning, there are 3 things that I found out that are critical to any commencement. The first is light. The second is a framework. And then the third are resources. So I found out that at the commencement of this earth that we all live in, there were 3 critical challenges that name whatever creator you think, whether it's Obatala or Oromi or Ogun or Oshongo or Jesus or God that created it. There were 3 challenges that were faced with the creator at the beginning of the earth. The first was the darkness challenge, right? The illumination problem. The second was the formlessness challenge. There was no form. That we call the structure problem. And then the third was that there was void. There was emptiness. There were no resources. Now, these 3 were the core challenges that will face any creator. And so as you go ahead to create a pathway for yourself in this new year, you have 3 challenges before you. The darkness challenge, which is the challenge of vision and illumination. Number 2, you've got the structure challenge. You need to give form to the things that you're doing. You need a design. You need a framework for the things you're doing. Number 3, you're going to be faced with an emptiness challenge, which is the challenge of resources. What exactly do I now need to make these things work? So there is a vision challenge. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? And the earth was without what? Form. It was without form, meaning there was no structure. And it was void, meaning it was empty. And darkness was upon the face of the deep, which means there was no vision. Now, what were and what was the order in which the Creator solved those 3 challenges? That is what we refer to as the priorities of new beginnings. In what order were these 3 commencement challenges resolved? You know what it will do for you? It will enable you know how to start, where to start, and how to continue. So the Creator now said, help me, Oyebola. What was the first thing the Creator said? What did he say?
Light.
Yes, it said the light. Now, if you recall very well, the first challenge it was faced with, that seemingly was faced with, was formlessness challenge. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form. You will have thought that the form was going to be the first thing he will attend to. But he said, light, I need to see. So the vision becomes the first in the priority of your new beginnings. Vision becomes the first thing you want to attend to in the priority of your new beginnings. The most important thing is vision. Friends, until you see, you cannot believe. All right. So the second thing he said was, now let there be a firmament that separates the waters above the firmament and the waters that separate the waters below the firmament. And what did we see there? He began to create, the Creator here now began to put a structure to his own creation. And guess what? We're told that dry land appeared. And there were now 3 broad divisions on the earth. The sky division, right? The land division, and then we have the body of waters division. That was a structure. And friend, look at this and listen carefully. The world we live in today rides on that tripod. The tripod of the sky division, the land division, and the waters division. Even today, all of transportation in the earth today is spread, is riding on that tripod. Air transport, land transport, and then the waterways. Tell me anyone else, even those who fly by broom, they're in the air. They're in the air. So I don't know if you know anybody that flies by the broom, though. I don't know. Okay, do you know anybody that flies by the broom? Doc, do you know anybody that flies?
Anybody that flies what?
By the broom.
Hey. I can't even see.
You can't remember. Don't worry. You don't know anyone. Don't worry. So there's a vision. Vision becomes the first thing, and then structure came. I want to put a structure in this creation of mine. That is the second activity in the order of new beginnings. The second activity. Now, friends, the third. What is the third? The third is resources. He then began to say, let the land bring, what do you call it now? Fruits, herbs. The trees came up. He then said also, let many other things come up. So he brought the birds, he brought the fishes, he brought all of those other things. Every other thing started coming up. And guess what happened? The structure became fit. And that's why I will share with you on the next slide. Vision precedes structure. Vision precedes structure. There are 3 hurdles you will face before you get to your crown. There are 3 hurdles you will have to address as you want to start a new life. And I dare say to you, if you're going to start a new relationship, it's got to start with a vision. Why am I in this relationship? What's the purpose? What's the goal? What do I want to accomplish? The vision first. If you're going to start a new business, that's the first question you want to ask. Why? The why question. The why question. Why? What's the purpose? What's the essence? What am I chasing? What am I gunning towards? What am I rushing towards? If you're going to start a new school, whatever new institution, a new journey, whatever thing, if you're leaving your house and you're going somewhere else, you want to ask yourself, where am I going? And why am I going? The second will be structure. How am I going to get there? How am I going to fulfill this vision? How am I going to ensure that my expectation becomes my experience? How? And then, what will I require? What will I require? And so, friends, on your screen, you find it there. Vision precedes structure. Vision precedes structure. And structure will maximize resources. You see, if you get money before you understand that you have a vision, you will waste the money. There are many of us who have not maximized our friends because we don't know how to make use of them, quote unquote, make use of. Many of us don't know how to leverage on our relationships. You know what? We have made so many friends and they are not adding value to you, not because they don't have what it takes to add value, but you've not put them in a frame that enables them to contribute to your life. All right. So these are the priorities of new beginnings. This is the priority of new beginnings. A vision comes, structure, and then resources. I'll pause for a bit to see if there's a question or a comment that anybody wants to bring up, so that I don't just load you all and I can talk without stopping. All my friends on this call know that part, but let me not do that. If there's a question, if there's a comment, if there's a call for clarification, I'm happy to take it now. Igwe, if there is one. Hepzibah, your microphone is unmuted. You want to ask a question? Hepzibah? Was that a mistake? Okay. Oh, okay, great. Grace, do you have any question? Juliet? Kemi? Okay, none for now. All right, so we proceed. Oyebola, we have a very fantastic team here. Everybody understands it. Now,
We are still processing it.
now, when we say vision precedes structure, let me explain what each of these elements will mean. What is vision? Vision is framing the future by the use of imagination and planning. You are framing the future by imagination. You are creating what has not existed. You are forecasting what you want to be in. You are picturing where you want to feature in. That's a vision. And so When we say vision precedes structure, what we're saying is this: define the end. Define the end from the beginning. This is January of this year. Guess what? Many of us want to know, we need to know how we want to end the year. Oyebola, tell me, at the end of the year, how much do you want to have in your bank balances? Millions of
pounds.
Millions of pounds sterling. So now you have not got to that end, but that's an end that you have defined. Now, what's the structure? I'm liking you to, I want you to please listen carefully to this one as I explain it. Now, your structure is how your activities, all of your activities in life, how they are directed towards the achievement of the vision. The things you do, how you do them, critically, your structure will ride on your habits. How you get things done. How exactly do you make new friends? If making new friends is one critical thing you need to do this year, how exactly do you make the most of the friends you have? A number of us need to put our friends into roles. Now, if you look at the structure, the diagram I have there, let's imagine that you are the one in blue, the deepest blue color there. Just like Ebola is wearing blue today. So look at that blue, that deep blue there. You are the CEO of PSC. PSC. PSC means Personal Services Corporation. My Life Corporation. PSC. You are the CEO. Now, there are other people that contribute and will contribute to the success that you have envisioned for your life. Now, the question is this: what roles have you given them? Where do they stand? And how will they relate with you? Some of us are what we call accountability partners. Some of us have friends, role models, mentors. We have all these relationships and we engage them differently. They contribute different things into our lives, but ultimately, all that they bring in enables us to achieve the vision that we have set. But the critical thing is this: how is your life structured? Do you have people you run to for spiritual development? Do you have people who contribute to your life for spiritual development? How do you run your spiritual life? Do you have people you run to for your emotional development? Are there people who contribute to the grit, the stamina of your mind intellectually? Who are the people that contribute to you socially? Who are the people that you relate with? I've always told people, if it takes you too long to get what you want, your network is poor. And many of us don't know what we have until we ask those we know. I would never have done this session today if Oyebola had not asked me to do it. She made herself available, triggered me, and here I am doing it. Fantastic experience I've had developing all these slides for you today. Now, how are you structured? See, friends, you need to live an organized life. And I'm not talking about organized every other day. That's what I'm talking about, right? You need to organize your life. You need to have everything structured. Now, it may not be perfect. It must be flexible because the world that we live in is dynamic. And ultimately, you have resources. What are the things that you can draw on in order to function very well? What are the things that you can draw on to function and execute your activities? You have a vision. You've structured your life. And all the way you want your life to go, you've structured it. You have had what I call the 7 domains of life. I'm going to be sharing it very, very soon. And then you now need resources. These resources are supplies. They can be people, they can be money, your strategy, all of those things you need that you can draw on, that you can draw from, that you can lean on to function properly. I was speaking with one of my friends today, and she was telling me that she needs a help. Shola, is that not it?
Yes.
Now, if Shola is to function properly, she needs support. But you see, if she does not get that support, guess what happens? a portion of the vision that she has for herself may be threatened. That's why resources become important. So I'm going to share also along those lines today. So now, let's get deeper. We're going deeper, and I hope I've set enough foundation. In this module, which is the second module, which I've captioned In Pursuit of Vision, the conversation here is to investigate the things that can make you win in life. I'm going to show you the 7 domains of life. I call them domains of life. They are the 7 areas of your life which you should focus on. And you should ask yourself, which areas of my life should I really focus on if I want to get the best of results? Then I'm going to show you how to set goals. Hepzibah, are you there? I'm going to show you how to set goals. Maybe at that point, I will yield the class to you to teach the class how to set goals. Hepzibah, where are you? You should be ready to teach how to set goals. Or Oyebola can take that part of the class. But I'm going to show you how to set goals. But this time around, I'm going to use a principle called the principle of curiosity. And I can't wait to get there. Now, the third is I'm going to help you design your goals grid. I know many of us have different forms of setting goals, but I'm going to give you a goals grid that will enable you to set goals very easily across the 7 domains of your life. And you will see it on just one snapshot. I've also found out by research that we all are essentially spiritual. Spiritual here means that we only give expression to who we are in our body. We are not essentially the flesh. The flesh is an expression of the things that we are. So we are spirit, we've got soul, and we live in the body. And these 3, what I call the triune nature of our being, this triune nature of our being then leads us to what I call the 7 domains of our lives. So the spirit part of us gives us a spiritual life. In the next couple of slides, I'm going to explain what the spiritual life means. Our soul, I've tried to break it down here into 5 dimensions of our life: our emotional life, our intellectual life, our social life, our financial life, and then our work life. And then our body reveals to us our physical life. Now let's do a deep dive into what each part suggests. What is your spiritual life? Your spiritual life is that aspect of your life that connects you to higher dimensions of living beyond what your physical senses can access. Friends, where is the source of the ideas that you have? Some of the hunches that you get, some of the promptings that you get to go, to do, to explore, to charge. Whatever happened to Oyebola when she called me up to say, let's do this, but I've been a prompting. And that prompting is beyond the 5 senses. So there's a part of that life that we must pay attention to. Now, there is the emotional life. And friends, I wish I could spend a long time talking to you today about your emotions. See, friend, if your emotions are not activated on anything you're thinking about, you will not be able to produce results with them. So there are 3 critical things that will really generate results for you. 3 critical things: your thoughts, your feelings, and then your actions. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And your emotional life is that aspect of your life that enables you to express your feelings. So your feelings have got to be in order for you to be able to really produce something phenomenal in your life. And then you've got your intellectual life. Intellectual life is the working of your mind. And we are told that we have the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the one that we all focus on by developing. We develop it by reading, we develop it by meditating, we develop it by contemplations, we develop it by studying, research. But you see, the subconscious mind is the mind that we really cannot control because it is quiet and dormant. But it is the one that absorbs the things you think you have not really absorbed. When we talk about the fact that your life will gravitate towards your most dominant thoughts, what we say is that your subconscious mind has soaked in the patterns of your thinking. For example, today now, if I were to ask your subconscious mind that what are the greatest things that Grace has thought about today, or that Oluwakemi has thought about today, your subconscious mind will say, oh, today, Oluwakemi had 55 thoughts. Of the 55 thoughts, 50 were about her son. Kemi, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
50 were about her son. Maybe 2 was about money. 1 was about her husband. And then maybe the other 2 were about something else. And guess what will happen? Kemi will just find herself gravitating toward child raising, anything that has to do with a child. That's what she'll be thinking about. And that's what she'll be acting on. So our intellectual life is that aspect of our life that enables us to think. Is that a aspect of our life that enables us to access knowledge? Is that part of our life that enables us to produce ideas? And guess what? This part of our life is the place where we make decisions. Our intellectual life is the one that feeds what we call our willpower. When you say, no, I'm not doing this, it is because of your intellectual life. The next is our social life. Our social life. Our social life is that aspect of your life that involves how you relate with others. Friends, no one can ostracize himself or herself. You cannot ostracize yourself. We are in this world to relate with one another. Whether we're going to be doing it by sharing with one another, or competing, or collaborating. Sometimes as we share, compete, and collaborate, we find ourselves in conflicts. That's about the life. So your social life is that aspect of your life that enables you to relate with other people. Friends at work, or should I call them colleagues? Friends that you have made outside any of your domains of your life. Neighbors, relatives, development. I mean, some of you who are doing Fit Farm, your gym partners, you have different affiliations in your social life. And this is the aspect of your life that shows you how you live with other people. Now, there is also the financial life. And I want to take a little bit of time here. Now, this is one of the most important parts of people's lives. Money. Hey, God, money. Money, money, money. If you don't have money, you'll be like that guy that always shout, wala, 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 if you don't have money. Money is one of the most important parts of our life. But you see, that aspect of our life is concerned with the management of money is earned, money is saved, money is invested, and money is controlled. And what I've done here, even though this is not a session on personal finance, maybe some other time we'll talk about personal finance and I can break this down a little further. But look at this and take this as a gift from me to you. Let everyone on this call know. I'm asking you, how exactly do you define what you want to earn? How do you define what you want to earn? How did you come about that 1 million, that millions of pounds sterling that you say you want to have at the end of the year? What exactly was the formula? Now, I'm suggesting this formula to you. CLS plus FFG plus ILS. Ziba, you're good. Based on your needs, bills, and current earnings. Now look at this slide. Your target income must equal your CLS. CLS here means your current lifestyle. What is your current lifestyle? All of the things you spend money on. To the minutest thing you spend money on. That's your lifestyle, your current lifestyle. But guess what, friends? Many of us set our target income to equate or to be equal to our current lifestyle. If I have just 3 million, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. So we're looking for 3 million to maintain our current life. And that's not what it is. All right? I'm saying that your target income should go more and have what I call your FFG. FFG here suggests your future financial goals. Now, your future financial goals, I've broken them down into two. Assets. That is what you want to own. So my target income will be my current lifestyle. Let's imagine I'm spending 8 million per annum on all my life, my obligations to family, my obligations to society, my obligations to my business, my car, my rent, my house, my internet subscription, my grooming, my feeding, my transport, all of those things, current lifestyle. But I must also anticipate that I need money to buy a new laptop. I need money to buy a house. I need to buy a car. I need to have a rental, an apartment that I can call that brings me rental income. I need to have these things coming. Those are assets. Many a time we don't factor those things in. You know what we do? We wait for one big break, and that thing just happens in our lives. It never forms part of what kind of income we want to earn. Now there's ILS. ILS there is improved lifestyle. Yes, today you have an iPhone X. Improved lifestyle means you want to go from iPhone X to iPhone. What's the latest iPhone? 14. Yeah.
14 Pro Max.
14 Pro Max. iPhone 14 Pro Max. So if I have an iPhone X, that's my current lifestyle. But I must plan for my iPhone 14 Pro Max. That's improved lifestyle. If I have a 20-inch TV and I think I deserve to have a 50-inch TV, I'm getting married this year. That's an improved lifestyle. I'm going to move from my apartment, my one-bedroom studio apartment, to a two-bedroom apartment. It's an improved lifestyle, right? I've gotten a new job and I've got to groom differently. Improved lifestyle. I'm having a baby. Improved lifestyle. I'm not having nannies work with me at home, housekeepers, security operatives. Improved lifestyle. Before, you were the ones doing the sweeping and the cleaning up by yourself, but you have anticipated that you have these things coming. Now, friends, when you add up your current lifestyle, the amount you spend on your current lifestyle, and all the things you want to earn in a period, let's say for the year that you are in, they become your target income. And the question will now be, I only do a 9-to-5 job, and I only have one stream of income. This stream of income cannot fulfill all these things I've just listed. Then the question goes, how do I create new streams of income to enable me achieve this target income? Because if I don't achieve this target income, my financial life may be in crisis. I'll stop it there. We're not in a personal finance class. If we're in a personal finance class, I will now start to show you how to create these streams of income based on your capabilities, based on your relationships, based on your affiliations, based on the things happening in your environment and all of that. But that's not it for now. All right, let's go to work life. I hope you're not offended that I stopped there. Because somebody will have just said, stay on that one.
We don't mind, sir.
He said?
We don't mind if you want to.
No, I'm not staying there. Don't worry. I'm not staying there. All right. So there's a work life. The work life is that aspect of your life that engages your capabilities to produce products and services that add value to others. You see, this skill that you have, this voice that you have for singing, this knack that you have for knowing how to negotiate deals, this ability that you have to be able to solve problems, all of these capabilities. Remember one of those 4 responsibilities I told you earlier at the beginning, ability to deploy what you have developed. So your work life is that aspect of your life that engages your capabilities, your credentials, your attributes, your skills, your knowledge, your experience. It engages them to produce products and render services. So you find yourself taking a job, it is because of your capabilities, and that's your work life. Now, your work life can be business and can be your career. So when I say work life, I'm not talking about those who have 9 to 5. It's work if you're in business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a self-employed person, if you're even doing a side gig in addition to your 9 to 5. So it's both, your work life is a combination of your business and career, all right? It's about your enterprise pursuits and your career pursuits all in one. That's your work life. And the final one is physical life. The physical life is that aspect of your life that is concerned with your health and wholeness, physically fit. Everybody know that I'm physically fit. I mean, I'm remembering some old songs here, right? Now, the truth is this, friend, look at this. You are on this earth for long, and you need this body. You can't afford to let this body of yours not be able to take you so long. The dreams of your heart, the visions of your mind, the vision of the future that you have crafted for yourself requires that you stay on this earth for long. You can't afford to be careless about your physical body. You can't afford it. You can't. And that's why your physical life becomes important. What you eat, what you drink, how you exercise, how you ensure that you have what we call the capacity, the resilience to go further for many things. Now, these are the 7 domains of your life. I'll go back to show you in snapshots. Your spiritual life, your emotional life, your intellectual life, your social life, your financial life, your work life, and then your physical life. I'm trying to explain everything to you now. So let's go a little further. And this one is a plus for you on this call. Can anybody try to understand what I just did there by those first letters that I put in bold? What can you read there? Mr. what?
Mr. Niger D.
Mr. Niger D. Exactly.
Yeah.
Who was that? Was that Juliet?
It's okay.
Okay, that's Mr. Niger D. Now,
Yeah.
what is Mr. Niger D? Anybody, what is Mr. Niger D? We are told that there are characteristics of living things, isn't it? Movement, respiration, nutrition, irritability, growth, excretion. Now, I'm here to let you know that these things define your liveliness. We call them characteristics of living things, but they are the ones that set us apart. Movement suggests that you are an advancing personality. Respiration suggests that you're a contribution-driven person. You've got what it takes in you that you look forward to contributing to other people. Nutrition suggests to you that you have a duty of care. We all want to eat. It's because one of the features of a living thing is to care for itself. Then there is irritability. You are one who is discerning. You are one who is sensitive to changes around you. And there's growth. You are increase driven. Every one of us wants more. We're here today because you want to produce better results in your life. And then there's excretion, which talks about resource management. What is excretion? You are letting out the things you don't want, but we know it is useful in another context entirely. And so you are one who is resourceful, one who is a correct steward of resources. You know how to manage resources. So what people think is a waste, you know how to make it useful in other contexts. And then ultimately, there's reproduction, which is people development. We'll get to a particular portion of this conversation today that talks about replication. Okay, people development. And then there's death, which means you have an opportunity to transcend this place. There's a transition, there's a desire to transit, which is about legacy living anyway. We all want to leave a legacy. A man called Walter J. Lippmann said, the final test of a leader is that he leaves behind him in other men the capacity and the will to carry on. And so I just thought to bring this in to let you know that besides having 7 domains of your life, there's what is wired in you that makes you different. You are an advancing personality. I'd like you to say it as you're seated in your room right now and say it to yourself. And I'd like you to please repeat after me. I am an advancing personality. I am contribution driven. I have a duty of care to myself and others. I am sensitive and discerning. I'm increase driven. I'm a steward of resources. I am resourceful. I'm a people developer. And I am legacy focused. You see, all of these things I just mentioned, I knew. Whether you like it or not, when you check your leanings, when you check the things that you gravitate towards, it is because of all of these things that are deposited in you. Can I say this to you again, friend? As we talk about vision, some things are important in determining how unique you are. Your goals and aspirations tell us how different you are. Some of us will never chase a dream to becoming the fastest athlete in the world. It's not part of our pursuit. It's not my dream. Or some of us have guiding principles, philosophy that guides us. Now, these things are the things that make you stand out. Your perspective, how you view life, your opinions on certain matters. In Nigeria today, some people are obedient, some are partyfied, some are articulated, some are revolutionaries, some are whatever they are in the political terrain. Perspective and viewpoints. That makes you unique. You have passions, your interests, the things that you're interested in, the things that cause you to tick. And then you have approaches and methods that you use in addressing your own work, your own life. There's a way some of us will serve our food. You have your programs and plans, and then you have partners, social relationships. Can I be honest with you, friend? Please pay attention to these things. They were not supposed to be part of this slide, but I felt very strongly I should put it there. You are not like any other person. And these 6 critical things help you to be unique. The things you pursue. So never mind if somebody else is not pursuing what you pursue. They possibly have not seen the things you've seen. Your philosophy, your perspective, your passion, your programs and plans, and your partners, the people that collaborate with you, these things make you stand out. If we're talking about producing better results, you've got to know that these are some of the elements that make you stand out. Now let's get into how then to create goals. I chose this guy, this painter, because can anybody tell me what he's doing? Can anybody tell me what he's doing?
Creating a path.
Creating a path, exactly. So he is creating a path. He's taking responsibility for the path he's going to walk on. Now, here are my thoughts to you. Sometimes we ask ourselves, how exactly do I find goals? I think I found a simple way to share with you. This may be one of the most important parts of this conversation today. For anyone, for someone today, this may be the most important part of this conversation. How exactly do I find goals? When you have talked about vision, have a vision, have a vision. What's this thing called vision? Where am I going to, and what kind of vision, Seth? I want you to embrace the principle of curiosity. What is the principle of curiosity? The principle of curiosity is one that tries to discover by making inquiries, by asking questions. If you are curious, you will find goals. Now, let me help you. The first thing I'd like you to consider is that you can create something. You can start something. You can initiate something. And you can introduce something. Please follow me on this journey. Whenever you ask yourself the question, what can I create? What can I start? What can I initiate? What can I introduce? The response you get to that question is the goal you should pursue. I don't know if you got that. Very soon we'll get to the goals grid. We'll try to understand this. So it's getting a little technical, but just follow me. Don't lose me. Do I still have you? Let me see in the chat. If I still have you, say yes in the chat, please. If I still have you, just tell me yes in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. If I still have you, just say yes in the chat. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Anybody else? Grace, are you still there? Do I have you? Yes, yes. All right. Happy. Now, you say you're looking for a goal. You're looking for what to pursue in your life and you can't find. I'm asking you today to ask yourself this question. What can I create? What can I start? What can I initiate? What can I introduce? Hold on. We're going to apply this question to the 7 domains of your life in a bit. And you will just realize how you will find goals for all the 7 areas of your life very cheaply. Number 2, the set of words you find there are innovate, which means to improve, refine, and tweak. So the second question that will enable you find goals will be, what can I improve? What can I refine? What can I tweak? What can I improve? What can I refine? And what can I tweak? Guess what, friend? Your response to that question is the target you need to pursue. Your response to that question gives you a target to pursue. Many of us don't have targets to pursue. We are busy trying to see who can copy. You don't need to copy anyone. Remember, I just talked about your uniqueness. You're unique. You're different. The way you reason, the way you think, the thing that interests you, they are different. But these questions will guide you. What can I improve in this area of my life? In my spiritual life, in my financial life, what can I refine? The way I spend money on Zobo is a lot. I need to tweak it. You know, the way I spend money on this natural hair, all this long hair, bone straight, bone curve, bone everything, you know, all this natural hair that people are wearing all now and then. Maybe I can tweak it. Now, the third set of questions I have on the screen, and please follow me on the screen. I deliberately mark this one in red. Not because I want you to consider it. In fact, the reason I put it here is so that you don't consider it. The question is, what can I stop or what can I discontinue? What can I stop or what can I discontinue? I'll beg you by the mercies of God, don't ever ask yourself this question when you want to set goals. Don't ever ask yourself this question when you are looking to set goals. Do you know why? Do you know why? Everybody say you think so. Can you share your thoughts? Why do you think so? Why do you think you should not ask yourself this question? Ziba, you are muted in case you're speaking.
Okay, can you hear me? Good evening, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, so I learned years back that the human brain does not consider the word not or a negative, let's say negative action. So let me give you an example. If I said to you, do not think about a red elephant, do not think about a red elephant, do not think about a red elephant, you would think about a red elephant. But if I said, think about a blue elephant, you would also think about a blue elephant. So if you're saying, I would no longer, or I would stop, running, or I would stop eating late, you could just say, I would eat early, rather than saying the negative version, or should I say the counter, like focus on the positive version of your goal, rather than the terminative version of it. I think that's just my thought, but
yeah,
probably there's a different perspective.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you got it right. You got it right, particularly because our mind, are we there? Your mind will gravitate towards your most dominant thoughts. Your mind will gravitate towards your most dominant thoughts. Your mind will gravitate towards your most dominant thoughts. Your mind will gravitate towards your most dominant thoughts. And so if your mind is focused on what you don't want to do, you know what happens? You will do it. In fact, that becomes the target of your activity. I remember when I learned how to drive. And my dad said to me, don't hit the culvert. Don't hit the culvert. Don't hit the culvert. I went straight for the culvert. I went straight. I said, I told you not to go there. I said, I know, but I mean, I was trying. I said, don't hit the car, don't hit the car. Then you just find yourself going towards the car. And so the way to do it is ask yourself what you want to do. And the things that you don't want to do become relegated. It is better, friends, to say, I want to be rich. There's a different energy when you say, I want to succeed. And there's a different energy when you say, I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail is not the same thing as I want. It doesn't give you the same energy as I want to succeed. It doesn't. It doesn't give you the same energy. All right. Can you still see my screen, my slides?
Yes, we can.
All right, great. So when you say I don't have a laptop, your mind shuts down. The better thing to say is, I'm in the process of getting a laptop. Then your mind begins to create. So if you want to have a creative mind, the question is not about what can I stop? It's more around what do I want to start? Then your mind begins to produce. Because stopping, focus on stopping is not a focus on production. The focus on what you want to discontinue is not a focus on what you want to produce. What you really want to start is what you want to produce. What you want to improve upon is actually the things that you want to produce. Okay? So I'm not saying that there are not things that you want to stop doing in your life. I'm saying rather than say, I want to stop going late to an event, say, I want to be more punctual to an event. And so the goal is to be more punctual. The goal should never be about not going late. If you change the perspective that you have towards those kind of goals, guess what? You have more energy and more springs in your steps as you go towards the new year. And so that was the reason I put that here in red. And I hope, I haven't said don't look at this. You will not be looking at this. All right, the third one, and then we'll go to our goals grid. This part is important for me. I've also never shared this diagram before on the screen, publicly as it is. So there are many firsts that I'm doing on this call, many firsts. And I feel excited to be doing it because, I mean, everyone on this call is close to me, and I'm glad that I'm sharing this with my very close friends. Guys, I'd like you to please listen. I'm going to speak like I'm speaking in a small community. The next question is, what can I replicate? But before I get into that, what can I replicate? There's a lot more to talk about in replication. Because to replicate suggests that there is something that you admire. There is something that you also want to see happen in your life that you have seen in another person's life. There's what you want to reproduce. There is what you want to recreate. And it's important you pay attention to it. Now look at the triangle I have on the screen there. Wow. Please just follow me. Shola, I normally will share this when I teach. Juliet, I normally will share this for my friends in HR. Kemi, I normally will share this when I teach workplace practices. Okay? Ziba, I normally will share this when I teach workplace practices. So at the base of the triangle, the left side of the triangle, what you find there is what? If you can see my screen. What do you find there?
Current experience and target.
Current experiences at the left base of the triangle. Current experiences. Now, your goal actually is to get to your target experiences. Please follow me. You want to get to your target experiences. That is, this is what I want to start experiencing. These are the kind of results I want to see. But this is where I am, current. Okay? Now, I'm asking you that the journey towards your target experiences, based on the principle of replication, requires that you journey to what we call observed experiences. What are observed experiences? What you have seen in others that you like. What you have seen in others that you love. What you have seen in others that you don't mind experiencing too. You have seen matching pajamas. Haven't you seen it? Ziba, have you not seen matching pajamas? Dr. Okbe, have you not seen matching pajamas? I've never seen your picture in matching pajamas.
Coming soon.
Yes, I've seen matching pajamas.
So, I mean, matching pajamas, that's true. Some of us have seen couples. I mean, a couple take themselves out on I mean, you've seen them go skydiving, husband and wife, and you love it. You've seen a man and a woman with their children, and you love it. You've also seen people individually doing things by themselves. Somebody showing himself or herself self-love, and you love it. You've also seen people graduating from school, and they are working on, they call their name and they are working on the congratulations on your graduation. Oyebola just graduated last week. Was it last week?
This week, actually.
This week, actually. Oh my goodness. And you're here again. She graduated this week from the University of Hull in the UK. Well done, Oyebola. Congratulations. We wish you well. Now, you have seen people graduate. Now, these are observed experiences. So your journey to target experiences goes from your current experiences. You pick up on observed experiences, and then what you have found, what you have observed, in addition to the things that you desire for yourself, now become your target experiences. I don't know if I don't know if you understand what I just said. You can actually go from current experiences to target experiences, but it's always advisable to observe. Now, who are the people that will influence your observation? Who are the people that will influence your observation? They're your role models, mentors, coaches, and sponsors. Friend, today also is not that day to teach you about who are the people that would influence my career and my life. But I will cheat by sharing a little bit of it with you. So in a couple of slides you'll see now, I'm going to do a deep dive into role models and things like that. Remember, we are still on the pathways to creating your goals. The first set of questions about what can I create? What can I introduce? What can I start? What can I initiate? The second is what can I improve, refine, or tweak? The third is going to end up by saying, what can I replicate? However, look at the people that are influencing you. Role model. The role model is somebody living the life that you desire to have. These people have identified their areas of interest. They always develop their competence in their areas of interest. They produce results in their areas of interest. They leverage on relationships. They leave a legacy, and they're renowned for their contributions. Now, these are the people you want to be like. Number two set of people, your mentor, someone who's a trusted advisor. So these are the people that influence. These are the people that you want to observe what is happening in your life. They are knowledgeable. They've got a vast experience. They are keen on adding value. They provide guidance. They offer motivation, and they provide emotional support. The other will be coaches. These are the persons who will be your development partners. Coach, 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 coach. Someone who is your development partner. They are committed to the process before the outcome. They have an outcome, but the process first. Doctor, don't worry, let us do it this way. Don't worry, let us do it this way. Let's even start. Don't worry, we know the outcome, but let's start first. They follow up their counsel with checkups. They don't just tell you, go and do 10 press-ups. You know what they do? They want to observe you doing the press-ups. Your coach is closer to you than your mentor, in that your coach walks with you and works with you. He walks with you and works with you. Now, your coach is also more instructional than advisory. A mentor is more of the advisor, but the coach is more of an instructor. So many of us have mentors that advise us. Not many of us have coaches. And then these people, they spot patterns and they program actions for us. They spot patterns and they program actions because they work very closely with us. And then we have the fourth category, a sponsor, someone who is your advocate and mediator. These ones are drawn by your results. They invest in your life because they can investigate your pathway to success. They leverage their relationships to add value to you, and they commit their resources for your career advancement. Now, friends, I'll take you back a little bit of a slide so that you know where we're coming from. These are the people you want to replicate. Role model, mentor, coach, and sponsor. Remember, the question is, what can I replicate? Now let's go a little bit further. We're getting a little bit technical. I hope I'm not too boring. Maybe a bit boring. Now, the question is this. When you observe these four sets of people, then you have another question. What should I adopt or adapt? Now, this is an inquiry into desires and attractions. Oh, I love Oyebola's hair. Maybe I should take this kind of hair. I love Kemi's glasses. Maybe these are the kind of frames I should use next year. You know, you are looking for what to replicate, remember? The core goal is you look for what to replicate, what to reproduce, what to recreate. What should I adopt and what should I adapt? Then you have the final question. What can I replicate? What can I replicate is an inquiry into your capacity. Friends, you will never be able to do what another person is doing if you don't have the capacity to do it. Capacity, and I say here on my next slide, is the difference maker. Capacity is the difference maker. Capacity is the difference maker. Look at these bottles on the screen of different sizes. The reason I would go for the 5-liter keg or bottle is because I have more to store. I can store more. The 5-liter is more useful for me. It can last me longer. With my level of consumption of water, I need a 5-liter keg more than I need a 1.5-liter keg. And so, friends, capacity is the difference maker. So when you say, what can I replicate? Always ask yourself the capacity question. And the ways to expand your capacity is to take on stretch tasks. I could tell myself today, I had 1,000,001 reasons why I didn't want, I could not have done this program. 1,000,001 reasons why I couldn't have done it. And the number of you here also have 1,000,001 reasons why you should not have come for this event today. But you stretched yourself. You see, capacity is about stretching yourself and not stressing yourself. Take risks. If you will take a risk, you will expand your capacity. And friends, if you will volunteer, because when you volunteer, people put a demand on your capacity. They put a demand on your competencies. They ask you for many things that you are wondering, oh my God, can I really do this? Oh my God, I want to die. Come and draw. Joshua is here with me. I gave Joshua a very serious stretch task. Joshua is one who draws a lot. So I told Joshua, I need you to draw someone in 3 days. An A1 size frame picture, 3 days. He said, no, this thing is normally done in how many days? In 1 month. It is done in 1 month. I gave Joshua 3 days to do it. And guess what? He delivered it today. 3 days. What has happened to him? His capacity has been stretched. So if Joshua can do 1 portrait in 3 days and he sells it for 200,000 naira, he will have done just that one also in 1 month. So how many 3 days we have in 1 month? About 10. So by increasing his capacity to do 1 portrait in 3 days, he has increased his income 10 times. 10 times. So friend, it's not enough to say, I want to start earning like Mr. X. Do you have the capacity of Mr. X? If you don't have it, that result is not for you. Now, we get into the goals grid. This is a gift to you. Another new thing I'm sharing that I've never shared before. I wish we were all in the room so I could see your faces. Maybe your face will light up. I'm glad that Oyebola has shown our camera. All the other people cannot show me their faces, so it's been difficult to read whether you are lying down and sleeping or whatever. But it's okay. Dr. I thought you could show your face before, but it's okay. It's understandable. Ziba,
I'm sorry.
it's fine. It's fine. I'm not offended. Ziba, good to see your face. Okay, are we there? Right. So, just a second. Okay, great. Now, look at this grid. This is all you need to have in your room You only have to ask yourself 3 questions. And when you ask yourself these 3 questions across these 7 domains of your life, I'm asking you not to respond more than 3 things. In fact, even your responses give you more than 3 things. You can say, what can I create or start or initiate in my spiritual life? If you come up with 7 things, I'm asking you to reduce it to 3. Don't let it be more than 3. Particularly if your time frame for achieving your goal is a year. Okay? Because for every goal you set, you must put a time frame to it. So, what can I create in my spiritual life, emotional life? Create, start, initiate, introduce across the 7 domains of your life that you can see on the screen. Friend, whatever you put in these places, they become the things you want to chase in your life. And guess what? They will be the things to change your experiences. I said to you earlier on, when we talk about producing better results, it's about taking responsibility. I don't mind working with some of you to build this, but definitely not on this call. Because this will require one-on-one coaching. You have to populate this table. What can I improve in my spiritual life? What can I tweak or refine in my emotional life? Or attempt to fill this table and ensure that you don't have more than 3, except you have the capacity for 10. But let me just guide you with 3. You know what will happen? I will cause you to go and print this on a large sheet when you're done. Paste it in your room. And then you will see the things you want to accomplish in the 7 areas of your life. So if you use 3, you will have 9 goals per area. If you use a maximum of 3, you don't have to have a maximum of 3. Somebody will say maybe it's, yes, you can use an Excel sheet actually. It's an Excel sheet. I just needed to use this one for demonstration purposes. Excel sheet may be too small for you to see. You can use an Excel sheet actually for this. If you will please do this, I can stop this conversation here today. I mean, at this point. This for me is the most important. I beg you by the mercies of God, take this table, answer these questions. Between now, today is what? 20. For anyone who is able to finish his own goals grid between now and next week, Friday, I'll give you 1 hour of my time at no cost to you. You are paid for this, you are paid it in this program. Normally, if I was going to work with you to do this, I will charge a different fee. In fact, while I was preparing my slides today, Joshua is here beside me. When we got to this point, we said we would charge people 50,000 naira to help them complete this thing. But now the Spirit has descended upon me to do what I know best to do, giving things free of charge. God help me. When will I change? Coach, you need to help me. What things can I tweak? All right, but please, I beg you. You can give this grid to your friends. It's my creation. I'm happy to share it. But if you will be able to answer the questions here, you will have what to pursue for a lifetime. Recall that what you have observed from people will also be here. That is the last one, then what can I replicate? So you are going to look at your role model, your mentors, your coaches, all those people that inspire you. They are the things that they are in their lives, that are not in your life, are the ones that you put at that bottom part. Number 2 set of questions, what can I improve? Are things that you have done well before that you want to improve. And that's what we call better results. Better results. And then the thing that you've never seen before that you want to now start doing. are the things you call, what can I create? If you will do this, you will see better results in your life. Now, friends, let's commence our descent into the completion of this program. What are the levers of results? What are the levers of results? The final module, and we'll call it a night. There's a couple of things I want to share with you here. I call them the targets of influence. What are the things that will influence your results? Number one, your thoughts. Friend, how do you think? How is information captured? How do you validate the information at your disposal? How do you store information? How do you retrieve information? How do you use information? All of these things are mental processes that will impact the quality of your results. Number two, your actions. How do you behave? How do you express yourself? How do you engage your capabilities? That is, how do you deploy them? How do you determine what to do? How do you assess your activities? How do you measure the contributions of your activities to the results that you want to experience? If you would pay attention to this, this is an influencer of the results that you want to produce. Number three, your beliefs, what I call your creed and convictions. What are the things that you consider before you take a decision? When somebody is putting pressure on you and you say no, what led you to say no? Guess what? Some of us don't have sufficient reason. We just chose no. And if you have never found the anchor for your decisions, you will not be able to continue in that light. You must have a reason. You should have a reason. You must have an anchor. What is the basis? What is the conviction that you hold for not doing these things? Some people don't steal because they feel that they don't like embarrassment when they are caught. That is the only reason they are not stealing. So if you can assure them that they will never be caught, they will steal. Because that's their creed. What are your considerations? What's your attitude towards a matter? What are your priorities? What are your values? How do you interpret things? These questions I'm asking you and these critical areas, targets of influence I'm giving you, these things will influence your kind of results that you produce. The next, your opinions. Oyebola, Kemi, Okbe, Grace, Weze, Juliet, how do you arrive at the verdict? Shola, what sentiments do you nurse? What vantage point do you have? How do you speculate? I have a quote in that diagram, that picture there, one of my favorite quotes in life. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. What are your views and impressions? The next target of influence are your visions. I'm asking you, how ambitious are you? You know, when you ask yourself, what can I create? It is how ambitious you are that will enable you put there that I want to buy a brand new car, and you're not going to put, I want to buy Tukumbo. Your expectations and your desires. How imaginative are you? Do you really forecast things? Do you have plans? What are your fantasies? Let me spend some time on fantasies. Hello, friends. Do you know that your fantasies, in fact, do you know that realities are created from fantasies? Many of us kill our fantasies. If you are an imaginative person, you have many fantasies. What are your fantasies? Things that people cannot believe will ever happen, that you are daydreaming of that will happen. Hey, I wish I can fly like this bird. The way this bird just took off and started flying. Hula papa, hula papa, hula papa. I'm hoping I can fly like that someday. Someone say, you are daydreaming, you are fantasizing. Today, are we not flying? Someday somebody said, I wish I could go to the moon. Say, you better stop daydreaming. Today, are we not on the moon? So don't ever try to silence your fantasies. They are seeds. They are seeds of the realities that you want to produce. Okay? And then your experiences. How exposed are you? Hey, God. There are some people that all their life, they went to school in Ekiti. They were born in Ekiti. Everything Ekiti. All the books they read is Ekiti book. Every person that always, they don't know beyond Ekiti. They don't know beyond Ekiti. How exposed are you? How adventurous have you become? What incidents impress you? What prevailing memories you have? What situations and circumstances have you endured? Now, those questions I've asked you are I call them the targets of influence. But the levers of influence, what are the things that can help you get influenced? What are the things that can help you produce those results? You have set the goals. You've seen the pathway to setting the goals. You have your greed. You have checked out all of these targets of influence. Then, friend, you need a strategy. The labor of the fool wearies them, not because he doesn't have a goal. His goal is to get to the city, but he doesn't know how. We may have formed the goals greed may have given you what you pursue, but how do you want to engage it? Number two, you need information. You need information. The only reason you are spending more is because you don't know that there are places where you can get the same value for less. Sometimes the reason you're spending more is because you don't know. Sometimes the reason you are not competitive in your pricing as a business person, the reason you are not competitive in your price as a businessman is because where you get your own supplies, your own raw materials are supplied, they're expensive. Or somebody else knows where to get the same quality of raw material at a cheaper price. Information is the difference. Then the next lever is money. I'm talking about money. Money is a reward for solving problems. Friends, if you can find people's problem, then you have found your pathway to money. Technology is another lever that influences your results. It's an enabler. Today, look at us. Okwe is in the UK. Oyebola is in the UK. Who is in Bielsa there? I think Where's is in Bielsa. Juliet is in Jos. Somebody else is in where again? Lagos. You know, that's it. Technology has enabled us to be here together. Guess what? If this was a dream of mine to help people, I want to help people set goals for their lives. And I don't know how to use this technology. That dream is ended. Next is time. Time is a resource that we need. Now, these are resources. Time is a resource that you need. Time is a currency. Time, the perspective of time that we look at time is an indicator. Time is a currency that we spend. And ultimately, we have people as a resource. Friends, let me say this to you. You don't know what you have until you ask those you know. And many of us suffer because we don't know what our network can offer. Many of us suffer because we don't know what our network can offer. My counsel to you as we close is that take a posture as you make the most of people. And that's what I'm going to be deep diving on and closing from there. Are we together? People are the most critical resource that you have. Again, I'm sharing this with you guys for the very first time. What you see on the screen, this is the first time I'm sharing it publicly. I caption it postures of influence. There are 21 of them. I'm going to be sharing just 6 with you here. I call them postures of influence. How do you influence other people so that they can be contributors to the dreams that you have? Number one, you can take an adversarial posture, always playing devil's advocate in somebody's life. You can take a collaborative posture. You can take an expert posture where you always tell the person, you always bring your expertise to bear. You stand in the place of expertise. You can collaborate. You can be adversarial. You influence people that way. You can take a posture of ownership where you want to own or co-own the vision with the person. And you can take the posture of an information carrier. You're informative, always sharing the latest insights, always sharing the latest possibilities. That's the posture of influence. And then you can always be available. How are you, my friend? How do you do, my friend? You know? I know sometimes it be like, say, nobody send you that wanna lie. I did for you, my friend. I'm available. I did for you. That's a posture of influence. That your friend needs someone to talk to. You provide a shoulder. These are postures of influence that enables us to make the most of the relationships that we have. When you can make the most of those relationships, guess what? You get opened to more things in life. In conclusion, friends, if you will make the most of people, ensure you are committed, ensure you are consistent, ensure you are prompt, ensure the quality of your input is excellent, and always ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions. As I conclude, today when I found this picture, many of my friends, or many of you here will understand what that VP means there. That's a VAP anyway. And I just, because I like this 3D man, I use 3D man a lot, but I've seen my slides with it a lot. That guy, he helps me. So this is my conclusion with you. And I will be open to take questions because we'll try to wrap up this presentation at the hour of 9 or so here in Nigeria. Yeah. There's no better time to take action on all the previous and current considerations in your life. I'm asking you to rise up. Rise up. Someone said I should go to the previous slide. Enablers of your postures, commitments, consistency, promptness, excellence, and curiosity. That enablers of your postures. I'm asking you to reinforce what works. If anything has produced results for you, friends, reinforce it. Investigate your investments. Don't ever let anything go that you have committed to. Don't be careless about the things that you have given up to produce more. Scale up your operations, your personal operations, scale it up. If you were serving one person before, serve two. If you were serving one nation before, now serve nations. Next, entrench a credible culture. You need to build yourself, you need to build a credible culture for yourself, a culture of responsibility, a culture of dedication, a culture of excellence. Then upskill your workforce. Anyone who works with you, anyone who collaborates with you. For those of you who are entrepreneurs, upskill your workforce. For those of you who have colleagues, upskill, ensure everybody's upskilled. You know why? When people are better, the work they do gets easier. I'm telling you, when you become better, your life gets easier. And finally, promote values that leaves a legacy. I don't want you to leave this world having people call you VIP, very important personality. When you have an opportunity to be called a VAP, a value adding personality. I want to thank you for giving me your time. I really hope I added value to you. I'm recommending some of these books to you. How Successful People Think, Winning with People, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, 5 Levels of Leadership. All those books are from my mentor, John Maxwell. Thank you. And
Wow,
God
wow.
bless you.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much.
Woo! Wow, 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 wow.
Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you so much. I don't know if anyone is as excited as I am. I'm sorry that I had to unmute.
It's okay.
Oh, Yebola, this is beautiful. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you. Honestly, I'm doubling up on a class. I said I can't miss this for anything. So you can imagine. This is beautiful. Thank you so much, Doc. Wow. May God refill you more and more. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Ebola, over to you. What are we doing next? Yeah.
Thank you. I think questions, because I mean, you've taken us through a lot.
It's a lot. I know it's a lot. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I'm
it's
so
a
sorry.
lot. No, it's a lot and it's good. I mean, it's a lot and it's good. And, I was just personally, when I was listening to you and most of these stages that we were going through, I was just like relating it to my life, to myself personally, and my business. The finance aspect is one. I could relate to how, you set financial goals and you're not just doing the right thing, right? Spending is one aspect where you have to look at, the things that withdraw those money. You can make 5 million the previous year, and then your goal is to make 10 million. You are making that 10 million, but you're not reserving, you're not having that 10 million is not staying or stand because, your spending is increasing. So I could relate to that personally. I just want to ask this question, maybe before any other person asks, because I'm sure most of us must, have questions.
Well, Oppa she has a question. Maybe after you.
Okay. Mine is on, firstly, I have so many questions, but mine, firstly, is on the posture of influence. That's the adversary, collaborative, expert, ownership and co-own, informative, availability, and all of that. I feel like what you were saying, I know you were referring to friends, but I feel like those things can even center, for those of us who are entrepreneurs, it could even center as, the kind of relationship we have with our customers or our audience generally. So I want to ask, is it possible to have or to place yourself as, or to create your relationship across all these postures of influence? If that's
No.
too much, or
No.
okay, you just have to.
Absolutely not, because when we say a posture of influence, what we actually mean, and watch out for, I'm going to publish a LinkedIn article on postures of influence, and ultimately it will become a book. I'm writing a book on influencing change, right? So there are a lot of things around it, but this is going to be part of it. Now, when we talk about a posture of influence, it means, what do I do? How do I position myself so that I can influence an outcome?
Okay.
So I can actually be adversarial. So if I choose to antagonize a particular person, a particular policy, a particular approach, maybe I'm in an organization and I don't like a particular thing and I choose to be adversarial. That is, I'm against it. I'm fighting against this thing. I can choose to be an agitator. I can choose to be an activist. That's adversarial, right? At the end of the day, what happens is I influence the outcome of a particular matter. You may never be able to use adversarial posture in business. Because if you want to, you may use it if you want to win your competition. There are postures, you can use it, you can apply it. And so all of these postures, the best cases would be defined by what the person who wants to use them wants to accomplish. Sometimes you want to be collaborative because you know that when you collaborate, you want to bring your skills to bear, you want to bring your own experiences to bear so that the persons can see better results. If you take the expert posture, you stand in a place where everybody looks to you for direction. Everyone looks to you to be the one to solve problems. You are the voice on this kind of matter. You are renowned on that kind of matter. You get it? So Oyebola, that's just about it.
Thank you. Yeah,
I
next
think
person.
Okwe has a question, yeah, so that we can close.
Oh, thank you very much. And firstly, thank you so much, Dr. Miwa Oyebola. Thank you so much for organizing this and putting it together. In fact, the question I had is actually on the topic Oyebola mentioned, still posture of influence. But my question is from another direction. In life, many people actually feel that they have to initiate or start something of their own. Only a few and rare category or selected few whose mindset or vision is to enable other people's vision. You understand? So you see this thing, you feel so attracted and like, wow, I want to help, I want to be supported, I want to be available. You know, I don't know if you understand the angle I'm coming from. So that's one aspect. In fact, a good example that comes to mind is when I think of Bishop Oyedepo and Bishop Abiye's relationship. And there are some other examples again in the secular world. So now within this posture of influence, I'm just thinking, if you're an enabler, what sort of areas would you, within those 6 postures of influence, would you bring to the table, in quotes? You know, so is it the availability aspect? Is it in terms of advisory? Is it in terms of informative, or even being collaborative from the angle of enabling another person's vision? Yeah, I hope I've made
Yeah. I mean, clear. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. So Dr. Okwe is in Manchester, Oyebola. So in case you find your way to Manchester, he's in Manchester. So for those of us in Nigeria, we're out here too in Nigeria. We are voting in February. Now, the truth is this: the goal in view informs the posture. Peradventure, I'm in PDP, and I want to influence the outcome of the forthcoming election. I will take adversarial. I cannot collaborate with APC. Do you understand?
Yeah,
I may be able to collaborate with other parties to chase out APC so that we can win. Our goal is to take power. So as far as my relationship with APC will be concerned as a PDP person, it will be adversarial. Okay, because I want to win that power. Sometimes also, the reason you want to take adversarial in business is because you want to win part of the market share. You want to say yours is better than the other party. Okay, so the goal in view is what influences the posture that you take. The informative posture may be such that you want to take a posture that people see you as a source of any information. So you always want to bring information, the latest insights on anything. They always come to meet you. It depends on what you want to be. You may be on a committee and you don't want to talk. You are an introvert. You're an introverted person on a committee or on a project, and all you want to do there is to be the one that everybody looks up to bring information. All right. So you can also be available. A friend, a relative wants to start a new project, and all you want to do is to be available for them. Some of you are possibly on this call because you said, you know what, I can't be doing this. This is my friend. We've gone so long. I want to be here. I mean, how much is 10K? How much is $15 and 15 pounds? Let me invest in this just so that I can be there for my friend. Besides your goal of wanting to be, to develop yourself, you also have a goal of showing support for your friend. And so you chose the posture of availability, availability. And you could only because you invested in this at the same time. So it is a goal in view that informs the posture you take, whether in business, social life, career, or any kind of form. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Oyebola?
Do we have any other question, please?
If there are no question, I just want to hear everybody's voice, just at least one after the other. Just say something. I want to be very sure that I did not lose you. I will also like to get a feedback from you. I'm sure Oyebola will send you a feedback form after this meeting, just so you help us know just to help us improve. This was actually prompted. It was not like we planned it deeply. So we're open to comments on how we can improve this. So Igwe, do you have any comments? Just in closing. All right.
I think that's
Great.
actually.
Kemi, let's hear you.
All right. Thank you so much, Doctor, for this impactful section we just had. Oyebola, good job. I've been looking forward to this side of you, Doctor, for a very long time. You know, building up community of problem solvers, and I'm sure we are getting there. Yeah, I look forward to building up the community with you, where we'll have a collective section of people who are there to solve problems, to people in the organizations, in their physical, spiritual, in every aspect of life. So I believe we will do more. But
My
this
coach
is my
has heard you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
My coach has heard you. Thank you. Ebziba, do we have a comment from you?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much. I really enjoyed the session, to be very, very honest. I'm excited about the goals grid. I can't wait to try my hands on it. I must say that this has to be one of the most actionable goal setting classes I've attended. So like I can tell how to develop my goals, or I have answers to the questions that help me determine what my goals should be or what my goals are. So I really appreciate this. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Shola, if you're able to still speak, I know the time is far spent where you are. Any comment from you?
Thank you very much, Doctor. I appreciate the perspective of the training really, because it's majorly focused on being rather than doing. And this also forms that foundation for us in goal setting and our career advancement, because a number of people go for vision boards, but they don't do that self-introspection, going deeper to find the core and lay that foundation. And this has absolutely done it for me. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I like that. I like that comment. Focus on the being and not just the doing part of it. Because I've just gone to say today, we just want to create a goals grid. You know, Ebola, I just done goals grid. But I really want people to take responsibility for that part. And I'm willing to work with you. If you will finish it in 1 week, if you finish it in 1 week, I'm willing to give you 1 hour of my time. It may be a vigil, but I'll give you 1 hour of my time. Dr. Okpe, you want to say one more thing before you go, before we close?
Oh, in fact, Doc, I can't get enough of you. Thank you so, so much. Highly impactful. Right now, I'm posting on School Talk WhatsApp that, please, guys, you know, these are the sort of avenues or sessions, seminars that you want multitudes, because honestly, that's how we spread these impacts all around. Someone mentioned something in that light and I found it so interesting, you know. But then, I don't know, but hopefully us that we've heard this, we've caught the fire. We have to put them to work. And thank you, Doc. Thank you for always being there, pouring. And as you mentioned, you know, your most valuable resources are your network, for pouring into us always, always. I'm sure everyone may hopefully on this call has a sort of relationship with Dr. Muyiwa to an extent. Either you've listened to his morning meals, or he has done one-to-one with you, you know. And honestly, I am so sure, sir, that the future is so bright. Honestly, your reward is great. And by God's grace, each and every one of us will also live impactful lives. All of these things we've heard, it won't just be head knowledge, but we'll put them to practice in our respective space. Thank you so much, Doc. God bless you.
We will pursue you.
Oyebola, in fact, I can't wait to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ebola, thank you so much. What you expect from us, we'll share the slides with you. We'll share the slides with you. We'll also be willing to support you after now to produce your goals grid. And after then, we'll expose you to other things that we do. Please follow us on Instagram. If you are not, Oyebola, you want to drop our Instagram handle in the chat for those who are not following us on Instagram. Please follow us on Instagram. We would be happy to relate with you. You can just drop us a hi. We'll follow you, and we have your email, so we'll also continue the relationship and engagement. We intended to do this for 2 hours. We've shot it by 24 minutes, 12 seconds. Thank you all, and have a very blessed evening and a refreshing one at that. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.